Okay, so the easiest way I came up with for showing you what I've done for this independent project is to do this screencast and show you the classroom that I created for my students. So it is the intro to coding. Obviously, I don't have my student roster, so I don't have any students in there thus far, but as you can see, you'll be able to see everything because everything's right here. So if you go to classwork, that's where the meat of it is. I've put the course syllabus on there, and everything's linked, and everything has all the documents loaded on it. So we're going to open with Google Docs. So you'll be able to see what the course is going to look like. It is a 12-week course. It's robotics and STEM. I have combined the coursework from Codeorg and Vex to complement each other. So when they get done with one, they can go to another one. So this is what's going to go on during each week. And you can see that I have tests throughout the 6 weeks. There are 8 tests total, and there are 2 tests that are actual tests that they have to do with their robots. And then they have a unit test at the bottom. And then I've got all their grades and behavior stuff that's down there as well on their course breakdown. So that is what they will see. Let's go back to the classroom. Okay, so that was the course breakdown. Doesn't like me today. Just refresh it. Didn't like me. Okay, so I have some resources here for the students. So this is a video that they will watch. I just linked it there so it would be easy access. And then the Vex Robotics. This is the link to where they will go to download the tutorial, but they first have to download this to their Chromebook, and it did come out with a Chromebook upload, or a download. So they are now able to do it on Chromebooks. So that's a link. All right, so the basics of it is I have them for 12 weeks, but I know that some of them will move faster than others. So it's designed to move at their pace. If they want to go, if they are into coding, if they are into this kind of stuff, they're probably going to move a little bit faster. So basically, everything's there. So if they get ahead, they don't have to wait at all. They'll be able to do stuff. So this is this is actually a very large PDF because it's the educational guide. We go over the first section. It's got A through F or A through Z sections in it. But the first part of the class, we go through section A, and that is where they get a lot of their terminology. They get their basics down. It is very, it's just very here, listen to this, read this. They do play a Quizlet. I do have a Quizlet activity for them in a little bit where they get to create a Quizlet and practice all the terminology and the meanings and stuff. So, okay, so lesson 1, they will be designing a boat. It's one of those activities, it's problem-solving activity. So it's one of those things where they have to build a boat out of foil, and then they have to see how many paper clips that it can hold without sinking. That's a fun one. And then this one, they'll have to do a group activity. It's a word search. It goes with the terminology that they're going to be using. And this is their first test. It's all their tests that they do on the computer are on Google Documents. And the Google Documents are locked, so they can't cheat, which is good. Okay, so this is where I want to switch over and show you the code.org. So, excuse me. When they do the code.org, I'm going to log into mine. Oh, I'm already on. So I already have the class set up. They're doing the express course for 6th graders. This is designed for their age. And we'll go in and I'll show you what that consists of. So, like the first Code.org, it tells them to do lesson 1 through 5. So, they're going to do lesson 1, which is the dance party. And then they're going to go, which is all about just a warm up. And then they're going to do this 1 through 5, which is all about sequencing. So these move pretty fast. So I put multiple groups together because they move so fast. I mean, some of these are extremely easy. So I wanted to make sure each lesson was long enough so that they have enough to do. And throughout the 12 weeks, they'll go back and forth from the lessons on code.org and doing stuff with Vex and actually building the robots. So it's really a great combination between the two. So this one does sequencing, loops, conditionals, functions, variables, for loops, sprites, and then they're done. So at the end, they will be mostly working on this at the end of the 12 weeks and working with their robots. So that is, and I've attached the link there for them every time so that they could easily go to it when they click on the lesson. This is the one where they have to watch the video and they do this activity with their partners. And they have input and output. Again, I've hyperlinked and I've linked all the stuff that they need, whether it's the video or the Google Doc they're going to be working with. And I've made it so that they have their own copies, or they can only view if it's like something I don't want them to change. Card sorting activity. This is something with a group activity, so they'll work with a partner. So many times I think about coding as being something that only one person is doing. So I was really glad to see that some of these activities are actually group activities. App exploration. Again, everything's, I'll have some things ready for them to get. So it's not all on the computer. There's still some stuff that they have to actually get from me. And then we have another test, another code.org, Vex part. So this is where we start getting into Vex. So we have, this is a document that Vex provided us. And then this is one that we created, and it goes hand in hand. And they are kind of defining what the parts are and what they do and do not do. And then we have a test on the parts, because knowing the parts really helps them be able to go in and start building. And then the coding maze. So this is actually where I'm going to be putting a maze of tape down on the floor, and there will be about 4 or 5 different mazes that they will have to navigate, code their robots, and be able to get them successfully through the maze. So that's the coding maze. So this is another physical thing, and then that's the test is, can you build a robot that has all of its functions? So that's, I mean, I like how it's all hands-on too. Then we have, so Vex has this download where they have all these tutorials. So they're going to go through all these tutorials when they log on to the Vex. And I've given them that Vex download link. And they will watch all these tutorials. And then they will have a test right after that, the tutorial test, which is another Google document. This is a questionnaire just to see how well they worked as a partner group on the bots, and what they liked and did not like. And then the game manual. So the game manual is what Vex gave us. This is the actual, to compete, you have to follow all these rules and regulations on the bots and everything, so they have to be able to do that. And then they have a quiz or a test for the game rules, which that's really important if they actually decide, if we do decide to go to a competition, they will definitely have to know that. Okay. I threw in this Scratch project. I actually used this last year as I was kind of interested in coding, and so I was like, okay, and I found this Scratch project, so I threw it in there after they get done with their bots. And then they have two lessons with the Codeorg, a study guide, and then their unit test. So this should take them definitely 12 weeks, and for some students might not even finish. But since all of these students will have me for social studies, if they get their work done in social studies class, I plan to let them work on this, because I feel like if they're really interested in finishing in this, then it's probably a good idea if they finish it. So that is my intro to coding with VexBots and org.com layout. So I hope this meets my requirements. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.